Hello everyone, it's me, Godzilla, and if it looks much different, that I'm not, thankfully you can actually see my face and not just my legs. So, I recently got back from watching a movie called Monster Calls. I will show a photo of it right here, or not if I'm too lazy to actually show it. But anyways, I thought I would give a little bit of a review because I've not been in front of the camera that often lately. I mean, sure I've been. Sure I've been doing videos um, of, like video games, but and yes, before you guys say you need to get a haircut, I know, but I may get one in the future, not now. But I'm freaking tired, so no. Um, I so as I said before, I recently watched Monster Calls, and you know what I said about Rogue One not being a good movie? I personally think Monster Calls was a great movie. Now, everyone who actually watches my channel, which is actually about 1,500 people, I think, that's how many views I have. Or maybe it's just someone just spamming the videos over again because apparently they have a crush on me, which I really don't care for. If you watch my channel, you know I have a soft spot for monster movies. This movie is no exception. I really liked it. How do you describe this movie? Well, originally I wasn't going to watch this movie at all because one, I was still recovering from Rogue One, and two, I was starting my Mario Galaxy series, and so the kid in this movie, Cooper something, Connor, yeah, his name is Connor. If I got his name wrong, I'll punch myself in the face later. I'll show a picture of him over here. I'm trying something new. So, so this kid named Connor, I don't know, Cody? It's something with a C. I'll remember it. He feels so much like me, or anyone actually. So, as I said before, I was bullied at my old school, Dallas. This kid, he reminds me so much of my past. He actually, whenever you watch, a movie, I'm one to watch a lot of action sci-fi movies. I don't really watch movies like what I think Monster Calls is. This is a movie with a moral. People don't like what they don't understand. A shy person, an invisible person can make themselves more distant by being noticed. It gives a lot of good morals for this movie. It's actually really good. I really just don't know how to explain it. But this kid is someone who likes to draw. I love to draw. I sadly don't show it on my channel because I'm lazy. And I'm an idiot. I don't really know how to show off me speed drawing. But this kid this kid gets bullied at school, and he's most likely depicted as being invisible. He does have, I think, he has drowsiness or something, nausea, I don't know. But his mother is sick. His dad lives in America. I think they live in England, as far as I know. Whatever. So one night, and remember this time, 12:07, a monster comes. Now, I'm gonna spoil the whole movie, but the monster kind of looks a little bit I mean, it looks good. It talks. It reminds me a lot of Gamera of not trying to hurt people, but tries to cause some destruction. But basically, this monster looks a lot like Groot. I'm gonna be showing pictures everywhere, so I don't block my face out, or I will. It reminds me a lot of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy because this thing is like made from a tree. It actually is a tree. Basically, at this time, he always gets a call from this monster. Like, the monster wakes up from a tree and it like grows and it talks to Connor and tells him 3 stories and he has to tell him the 4th. What this movie is going at is actually kind of interesting. So he continues with his own life, but he has to go with his grandma. But before that, he goes through the first story about a prince, his king. Basically, a king had 4 sons. One of them was adopted, the other 3 were biological. The 3 biological kids died by a dragon, giants, and just knights in general. The adopted kid became one of the greatest heirs to the throne. But his mother became so distressed by losing 3 children, their actual children, she committed suicide and died. In the future, he got a stepmother who was depicted as being a witch and poisoned the king so she can get the throne. Now, the prince was still young at this point, so he was too young to... It would take about a year for him to actually reclaim the throne. Eventually, he fell in love with someone, but with the queen stepmother, I'm going to say, because that is actually who she is, wants to marry him. Yes, I am being serious. It's kind of weird. I mean, I guess I can understand this, but why? So, eventually, he leaves, but his lover is killed. The lover is actually a farmer's daughter. But there's something else. The monster says something else in this. He says that the prince was the one who killed her and wanted to start a riot against the queen. And then he said the queen wasn't actually a witch and the king died from old age. It's kind of confusing, but basically not everything has a good ending. You don't know who's the good guy and you don't know who's the bad guy. It's kind of cool. Eventually, the second night comes about a pharmacist, I can't remember his old name, and a preacher. This takes place about 150 years before this time. It was talking about what happened. Machines were starting to be made, starting to cloud up the atmosphere with smoke and stuff. And so, oh yeah, and all these visions, they're in, get this, watercolor. Yeah. So it goes from a CGI monster to realistic people to watercolor animation. That's amazing. I don't know how to describe it. It's just really freaking cool. Eventually, the pharmacist can't continue his work because the preacher says that it's illegal now. But then the preacher's 2 daughters get sick and he is forced to go to the pharmacist. And so the pharmacist refuses to help because he was the one who because he couldn't do his work anymore. He lost all of his resources. Eventually the monster was already born, so he went to the preacher's house and destroyed it. And he asks Connor to help him break the windows. And get this. The monster's like Connor's actual real life form. While Connor's destroying the imaginary house, he's actually destroying his grandma's room, the living room. It's very cool. Eventually they start talking and the monster has, in his tree form, has a berry which can cure any disease. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention his mother is sick, if I didn't already say that. So, I think it's called the youth berry, the U-berry, I don't know. But she can't get healed. So the monster tells him the third story about an invisible man. He wasn't truly invisible, but he was invisible to the eye. No one would ever notice him. And so, what did he do? he called on a monster. I may show a little bit of I may show a few images of the monster because while Connor is running, the monster's destroying all the tables and eventually he hurts his boy where he has to go to the hospital. Yeah, punches him in the face. Really cool. So then the fourth story comes. Connor has to live up with the truth. The fourth story is another dream, but this time it's all realistic. Apparently a sinkhole happens or an earthquake, and his mother gets sucked into it, and he can't hold on much longer, and then she's gone. It basically says what's going to happen. His mother may die, and he actually says, "I wanted her to die." Yep. Not in the way of murder, but he didn't want her to suffer. He knew she was going to die, but he didn't want to let go. Eventually, he almost committed suicide, but the monster saved him. And at the end of the movie, his mother does die, but he actually is able to cope with it. And his grandma and him become better friends. And he actually learns the great secret that the monster was actually created in the pages of books of his mother, who was an artist. Yeah. So, what do I have to say about this movie? It's really good. I thought I would do it as soon as possible. Sadly, it's not that much of a popular movie like, Shin Godzilla and Rogue One. But I'm kind of tired of doing games. Kind of tired of doing games for now. So I thought I would do this. Yay. So, this movie gives off a lot of morals that... And all the stories entwine with him. The evil witch, the quote-unquote evil witch, was his grandmother. The lover was his mother. The foster prince was him, Connor. It all ties together of all this happening. Basically where the new queen kills his mother. His love interest. Then he kills his love interest. All stuff happens like that. It gets a little confusing. And the thing about the invisible boy becoming more distant by being noticed, as I said in the beginning of the video, everyone became scared of him because he thrashed out. This is all going on in his mind, I might remind you. The monster never came back for him, but it left him. It really, truly does remind you of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. So, the monster's appearance, it has a lot of good things. It actually shows off like it's more of a person, because it just feels really weird. Just saying this thing is more like a monster than more of a human. It's a humanoid tree plant thing. It doesn't hurt anyone. It refuses to hurt anyone. It doesn't want to kill Connor, but it will let people die if it means helping others. It is really weird, but this is a good movie. I would suggest you watch it. If you're a fan of kind of movies with morals, or you should watch it. If you're a fan of monster movies like I am, I would just give it a little bit of a chance. It's not a great monster movie. If you're looking for a gigantic brawl, you're not gonna get that here. If you want like a monster with more of a sentimentality, this is your movie. Sadly, the movie did leave off a little bit of some confusing things. First he wants his mother to live, and then he wants her to die. Just all that stuff is really confusing. So, as I said before, I can relate to this character. Whenever you see a character in any movie, like any action movie, you can't relate to them. Like Tony Stark from the Avengers, he's this multi-billionaire, but he doesn't show off any character traits. Connor, or whatever his name is, shows off a lot of traits. He shows that he is depressed somewhat. He wants to get through it, but he's always at ends with himself. What should he do? Should he go the path that he wants that would be easier, or does he want to stand up? He could snap He shows off that like he can relate to anyone who's gone through tough times. And he got through them really well. I know it is hard to lose a lost one. I haven't lost one yet, thankfully. But I would say Monster Calls is a good monster movie with a moral. But remember, if you're ever in need of something, call a monster. On 1-800-HYDRA. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't dab just there. Anyways, I've been Goza. Sorry this video was a little short. I'll see you guys next time. And hopefully I'll be in front of the camera soon doing another Bean Boozled thing. Also, before I leave, I have some stuff to say about my channel. I will be continuing some video game series. I will be doing more talk things. I'll be reviewing the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie, King Kong. But I have some bad news to anyone who liked this series on my channel. The Goza's Adventure series, that's going to be canceled because it doesn't really get that many views anymore. I mean, it was really good for when I started being a YouTuber, but now it's just kind of gone. It's making my channel go down far, far down the pit of despair, of hatred, bleh, and bleh. I got my camera messy. So yeah, hope you guys like this video. I will be doing more talks in the future. Maybe I'll do Rock Awareness Day 3. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll play some non-Nintendo games. And maybe I will quit YouTube. That's never going to happen. Bingoza, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.